Hello guys, and welcome back to the Stacey West YouTube channel. I am Ben, and I'm doing a preview today for the Bristol Rovers game. I'm here with Charlie Hayne from OneRoversVlogs. How are we doing, mate? Are you all well?
Yeah, I'm all good, thanks. Appreciate you having me on the channel.
Yeah, not at all. You know, it's always good to have a chat with the opposition. You know, ahead of the game, see how it's all going, see what you're thinking about stuff. So, obviously, a bit of a mixed start to the campaign so far. Only one win. You know, this far in. Would you say the results have been fair, accurate to your performances, or do you think there's maybe one or two games you think, we should have nicked that one, or we should have, gotten something out of a game you didn't?
Yeah, it's definitely like you said, a mixed start for us. Pompey, obviously, we've had a tough start on paper as well. Really, apart from Cambridge, who obviously most people have probably said be getting relegated, but they've had a good start as well. But yeah, Pompey away, I think a draw was deserved. We took an early lead and they equalised literally the last kick of the game. Then we had Barnsley at home. Went 1-0 down, but we should have won 3-4-1, but didn't take our chances. We were all over them. So many chances. Your ex-player, Marquis, should have scored a hat-trick, but didn't. Collins also missed an absolute sitter as well. And then Charlton away, we deserved to win. Scored a 98th minute winner. And then the last two games have been really frustrating. Losing... both of them losing 2-0 to Cambridge and losing 2-1 against Wickham. And yeah, it's just the sort of teams we do well against are the teams that usually come out and try and play and, attack. But when we play teams that are quite solid and they sit back with a low block like Wickham and Cambridge do, then we struggle. And it was the same last season and it started the same this year. So I think we should definitely have more points and more goals, but table don't lie. If you don't take your chances and you don't defend set pieces properly and you don't have a backup plan, then you don't win games. So yeah, very frustrating start, to be honest with you.
Okay, I mean, like it's interesting you say there about the teams that they sort of almost invite the pressure on, and that's where you potentially struggle a little bit. I mean, we'll come on to it in a little while, but that's an area that we seem to be excelling a little bit this season. We like to let teams play and kind of hit them when we can. So, I mean, we'll looking at your new signings first and foremost. Have any caught your attention yet, or are they still finding a little bit of time to bed into the squad, settle down?
Yeah, I think definitely Luke Thomas is one. We had him back in the League Two promotion season 2 years ago, and he come into the side and was really poor then when we had him on loan. But yeah, since we've got him in on a free transfer from Barnsley, he's probably been one of the better signings. Cox has done decent in goal. There's just so many signings, Jack Hunt, who's an ex Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday wing back. He actually started his first game. We only signed him like last week, but he started his first game against Wickham, and he was probably our man of the match. And he hadn't played a game all season because we got him in on a free after leaving Wednesday. George Friend, the same thing. He played his first competitive game for us against Wickham. He was pretty solid. And then you've got, Giovanni Brown, who's looked all right. He got an assist on the opening day at Portsmouth, and then he got injured, and he only just come back against Wickham. Same as James Wilson, he played against Pompey, he looked really good, but he got injured and only come back. So there's so many signings we've made, 12 in total. But I'd definitely say Luke Thomas is the best so far that we've seen.
Okay. I mean, I was going to, you've mentioned Marquis, you've mentioned James Wilson, so I'll come on to them now. Obviously, a couple of former imps, we're familiar with James Wilson. He seems to have been a player that didn't maybe get the most success in the team, but we've mentioned this on the podcast a couple of times. Like he seems to be a player that has like perennially achieved promotion with a number of clubs, even though maybe not being a standout player. I mean, you've said there, obviously, came in, got injured, and has just sort of come back into the squad. From the short time that you've had with him, or short time he's been able to show off what he's capable of, like how has he settled into life in Bristol?
Yeah, to be fair, against Pompey, he was quality. Just the leadership, the experience. You know, like you said, you know, apart from his stint at Plymouth, where he was there 2 years, when they got, you know, I think over the 2 years, something like 150 points in the 2 league seasons. Is where he's you know, mainly played in the, like you said, he's had 4 promotions. I think he's won the league twice. But like you said, Plymouth is the only time he's played pretty much every game. And of course, he comes to us. It was actually one of our own players that got him injured by accidental during the Pompey game. But he's looked really good. I like, you know, we needed that leadership and experience at the back, because last season we were really good going forward, but it was defensively where, you know, we conceded like 70 odd goals, I think, which is terrible. And because we had such a young defense, and some players who we had on loan left in January to go, and we sort of really struggled with just basic errors and mistakes last year. So now, even though I can't remember off the top of my head how many we've conceded. We've conceded about 8, 7 or 8, I think, maybe 6 in the first few games. But a lot of them haven't been through, like, it has been poor defending, but we've conceded a lot less chances this season so far. So that's a good thing. Although we've still conceding goals, but overall we are playing better. But I do like the way Wilson's settled in, and because we've got such a stacked squad now, I think, especially from last season, you know, Barton's been backed a lot over the summer with players coming in. So all the pressure is on Rovers and Barton at the moment to really go and have a really good season. But same old Rovers, we start slow.
Fair enough. I mean, obviously the other notable name from us, he had a short stint with us, John Marquis. I think he got 9 in, was it 18 last season? You hoping he's going to build on that this year? Is he looking like he might do? I mean, I know you mentioned probably should have scored 2 or 3 the other game, but yeah, is he looking as dangerous as we know he can do?
Yeah, I mean, the first sort of 5 games, he's had a lot of chances, and he should be on 4 or 5 goals really. Like I said, the Barnsley game, he missed a sitter of a header from about 5 yards out, didn't even hit the target. Then should have probably scored a brace after that. And then Charlton, he should have scored probably 1 or 2 as well. But it was weird because we got him last season on a free. I think he got 9 in the league, 12 in all competitions. And to be fair, most of the games he didn't even start. He was coming off the bench because he got a few early injuries. So he didn't start the season, you know, being 100% fit. But as the season went on, he really done well and impacted a lot of our games. But yeah, a bit frustrating at the start with him that he should, like I said, he should have had 3 or 4, maybe even more goals, but hasn't found the back of the net. So I do like him. His work rate's amazing. He can hold the ball up, but so far his finishing needs to be better. Especially a player of Marquis's, you know, stature, what he's done throughout, you know, the last sort of 10 years of his career, the amount of goals he's got, he should be scoring the chances he's had.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got maybe not to quite the same extent, but we're kind of seeing a similar thing at Lincoln at the moment with like Ben House and Tyler Walker. Obviously, Walker's come in this over the close season to a lot of fanfare from the club. Neither of them have scored yet, so I think the other side of that is we've got goals like players chipping in from all around the pitch, and whereas we didn't have that like last season, we were sort of reliant on 1 or 2 players. It seems like there's a lot more happening around the strikers to allow the goals, and similar to what you said about Marquis with his hold-up play and stuff like that. I've been really impressed when Walker's come on. You know, he's been able to make flick-ons, you know, and use his body well. And House is just, you know, Ben House is just a unit. You know, he'll get the ball and he'll keep it held up quite well. So, yeah, interesting you say that, because I just wonder if occasionally you get those kind of you do get those players where they just go through a little bit of a lull. Happens at the start of the season, and you know, maybe a bit of a confidence knock. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. Obviously, transfer window's closing just before the game. Are you concerned that you might lose anybody beforehand, or have you know, are there any potential other incomings, do you reckon? I know you said you've made a hell of a lot of signings so far. Would you be surprised if any more came in? And as I said, what about any that you'd be terrified of losing?
I still think there'll be players going that aren't in the manager's plans. The likes of Belshaw, the goalkeeper, who's started a lot of games for us just before we got him for our League Two season and last season. That's sort of mixed, because a lot of people love him, but he has made a lot of errors. So I think he's going to be one going. You got Ryan Loft as well, was striker, who you know, is a decent player, but he obviously, I think 24, 25, he just wants to start games. So I think he'll be off as well. And maybe a few others like James Gibbons, who's a sort of a right back / wing back. So I think there will be a few players leaving. But we definitely need a striker. We've been looking at Clark Harris. There's been strong rumours of him coming back. But I'm not really sure. I've heard different stuff. I've heard that the deal's done. I've heard that Derby have come in really late and offered him more money. So, but yeah, we do need a striker. We do need because I just think Marquis isn't the same player he was when he was at Doncaster, where he was getting like 20 goals a season. So, and Collins is another one. You mentioned form and confidence. He's another one. I think he's gone about, I don't know the top of my head, but he's gone 15 odd games, maybe more, since last season without a goal.
Right. Okay.
Which is frustrating for us. So yeah, I think we will be getting a striker in. I don't know who, but hopefully it's Clark Harris. But if not, then hopefully it's someone that's close or
that bit of
near
pedigree, you think?
Yeah, that pedigree up front. Yeah.
Okay. And anyone that you're really desperate to cling on to and hoping that they're not going?
Collins is one, but I don't think, because he obviously got League One Player of the Season last year. Obviously, that was based on the first half of the year, where he had 14 goals, I think, up to January. Then he only got 2 after that. So that's what I mean. Now I think he's on poor form, and confidence, etc. I don't think anyone will come in for him. And now I don't think anyone's going to come in. Maybe I've heard rumours of our 2 fullbacks, Lewis Gordon and Luca Hall. But apart from that, I don't think there'll be many massive players leaving for us. I just think it'll be players that are, on the fringes. Fringes and stuff like that.
Fair enough. So let's look ahead to Saturday then. What can we expect to see from you guys? I think looking into it a little bit, 4-4-2 seems to be a preferred setup. Does Barton tend to make the changes if he needs to, or does he stick with what he knows? And what can we expect to see from you guys? I know you said obviously you tending to struggle if teams sit off you a little bit. How's it been? How's it gone so far?
Yeah, like you said, it's basically a 4-4-2/4-2-3-1/4-4-1-1. It changes during the game, but yeah, it is mainly 2 strikers, or maybe an attacker mid behind like a Marquis. So it was interesting. Like you said, we've played sort of a 4-4-2/4-2-4 to start the season. But Barton made a lot of changes after the Cambridge defeat. For the Wickham game, he made 6 changes. He completely changed the 2 fullbacks. Like I said, George Friend, Jack Hunt come in. Marquis went to the bench. He started every game apart from Wickham. So this week again, because of it, just and it seems to happen like last season. It happened as well, like when teams sort of sit off of us, because we have a lot of the ball. I think we're up there this season with the most possession. I think we average like 60-70%. But I've seen that you have already alluded to that Lincoln don't have a lot of possession. So already again, that's sort of worrying me. And because of, apart from obviously last season when you beat us 6-3 at home when we had no centre backs, and then obviously the away game you beat us 1-0 as well. But apart from that, our record's usually pretty good against Lincoln. So I'm hopefully the record, when you look at the records, that can come into play. But I should imagine it'd be sort of the same 4-4-1-1 or 4-2-3-1. Again, for me, I'd make a few changes, but I'm not sure what Barton's going to do. Barton could do anything. You just don't know. You just don't know, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, if I was to pick a team, it would probably be completely different to what Barton would do. It just, you never know with him. He can come up with anything.
Yeah, I mean, let's just touch on Joey Barton, because obviously, he, in football, he's a Marmite figure. I think there's if you speak to a Lincoln fan, given some of the antics that happened after the game at Sincil Bank last season, we'd probably have a different opinion to a lot of you guys. I mean, how is he in terms of the fan base? From what I've seen from the outside, it looks like he's sort of galvanized a lot of the fans. I think there was obviously the stuff, was it last season when everyone shaved their heads?
For the cancer, Nick Anderson, when he had cancer.
It seems like
I was one of them as well. I went skinhead doing that as well. Yeah,
excellent stuff. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of the camaraderie there. A lot of like the team feels like a team with really good spirit behind them. And is that sort of still carried into the fan base, or is it one where people are starting to maybe turn a little bit as results sour?
It's an interesting one. Like you said, he's a big figure, and like you said, very Marmite. I think even now though, when he first come in, that it was half and half. A lot of people were happy. I was happy as well, but with a player or a manager like him or a person like him, there's going to be, up for debate. All around. Even when we were the League Two season, when we were doing well, there was still, and even to this day, I still know a lot of people that don't go because of him.
Right. Okay.
Loads of sort of, I would say mostly sort of the older generation don't go, but even I know, friends, parents and stuff, they don't still go because of him in charge. So it's still now, I think, even when we were doing well, it's still been sort of split, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, like you said, because of, especially this season, because of the backing he's had and the players he's brought in, even if you ask me, I'd probably say it's one of the best windows we've had for quite a long time, and probably I'd even go to say it's probably one of the best windows in League One. The sort of players we've brought in, but like you said, with that comes pressure now. Because Barton's already come out in the past and said, I want to get us to the Championship and etc. And he said, if we don't go up this season, he's going to leave and stuff like this. So, but that's the thing now. Now we've gone one win in 5 to start the season. Yeah, some of our performances should have deserved more, but you look on the other hand, 1 win in 5 doesn't look good, and then if it carries on, then you could see our fans
if it starts to turn,
opinions.
I mean, if it starts to turn, do you think it will turn quickly on him, and then he'll really start to feel that pressure?
I should imagine it will go quite quickly, especially now, because I said we brought in 12 new players, and a lot of them, players from the Championship or players that have gone up, promotions, etc., out of League One. And it just comes with pressure. And even, all of our owners were some of the owners were joking around and saying, look at our team on socials, and I was like, that just sort of, it's such a Rovers thing to do, just make and look stupid as fans then as well, because then they're going
Yeah.
out. But yeah, it's hopefully we can sort of get back to winning ways soon, and get more confidence in the team and the fans, because obviously with you look at the Giovanni Brown signing of what happened to him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously
was
that, as I say, obviously there was a lot of
going mad.
controversy about that. It's one of those instances where I think looking outside or looking in from the outside, it's one of those where you kind of go, oh well, of course Joey Barton wouldn't mind signing someone like that. That's
Yeah.
kind of the attitude
Yeah.
from the outside.
Yeah.
I know there's been a lot of internal discussion about that as well between fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's going to be an interesting one throughout the season for sure. I mean, we'll start to wrap up. But is there anything that you've seen of Lincoln that that you're impressed by, or that you potentially worried about Saturday? How have you seen our season from your side so far?
Yeah, you've had a good season, haven't you? You, like I said, you can keep clean sheets. Very solid team. But again, it just worries me because, again, like I've seen from your games, you don't have a lot of the ball, but you still seem to win. Even coming off the back of your last game, you obviously you'll have confidence from the League Cup winning there on penalties against Sheffield United. You'll have huge confidence from thrashing Blackpool. Was it 3-0 at home?
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
league,
we've had 2 home games so far. We beat Wycombe and Blackpool 3-0 in each of the games.
Exactly. Yeah,
So.
and obviously we struggled against Wycombe a lot. Your physical side, 5 at the back. Set pieces. That's the thing. If you're only good at set pieces, then yeah, like that. With the Wycombe, we were all over them for the first 20 minutes. First set piece they had, they score from, and then
yeah,
it's just like what do we do next, because we don't really have a game plan. So yeah, I'm aware there's a lot of players. Like you said, House hasn't started with a goal, but he done really well against us last season. Is that Mandrio as well as a quality player?
Yeah.
You got Rico Hackett. Obviously, you brought in on a free from Pompey. He's had a good start to the season. So
yeah,
it is going to be tough. It is going to be a really tough game of a physical team. A lot of physical players. You play 5 at the back. You're away. I think that you beat Shrewsbury 1-0 away from home. You drew with, you lost a 2-0 lead to Northampton. So hopefully,
yeah, we don't talk about the Northampton game.
yeah. So I'm hoping with even though you've still done fairly well away from home this season, I'm hoping we can get our first win of the season at home, because we drew with Barnsley, which we should have won. We played some great football but didn't win. Had loads of chances. Wycombe obviously was frustrating, but if we want to have a good season, we need to make our home games win them. Last season we really struggled at home. I think we had 5 or 6 wins, which is one of our worst in our history. So hopefully, this season we can do well. But it's going to be another tough game against a really good and organised Lincoln team.
Fair enough, and that leads me on nicely to the predictions. How do you see it going? I've got my own ideas, but I'll leave you to give us a prediction first.
It's tough. If I'm saying it with my head, I think we'll lose again. I think it'll be 2-1. But if I'm going with my heart, then I'll say a 2-1 win. So but if I was to give, I mean, I'll just say 2-1 win for us. I can't predict us to say a loss. Although that's what my head's saying. So I'm not really confident, especially after our last 2 games, which we've lost. And Wycombe, we only had 1 shot on target, and that was the goal from Harvey Vell. So
right, okay.
I think if we get the first goal, then maybe we'll win. But I think if we go 1-0 down again, we'll struggle. But yeah, 2-1. I'll say 2-1 win for Rovers.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stick my neck on the line, and I'm gonna say I think a 2-0 win Lincoln's probably on the cards. I think the confidence is high, like you say, after coming away from Bramall Lane on Wednesday night. I think we seem to be being able to pick teams apart, and from what you've said about, you know, Rovers not liking when teams set off them a little bit, I think the stage could be set for an unfortunate, from your point of view, victory for the Imps on Saturday. But that's gonna wrap up the preview for Bristol Rovers. Floor's yours, Charlie. Let me know, where can we find you? You know, where can we find you on YouTube, socials, and we'll obviously put the link in the description as well. So, floor's yours.
Yeah, OneRoversVlogs on Twitter and OneRoversVlogs on YouTube as well. I mean, I'll be doing a live preview tonight as well, so feel free if any Lincoln fans want to tune into that. That'll be on my channel later on. So and yeah, Instagram Charlie_Hayne96 if you want to check me out on there as well. But yeah, just OneRoversVlogs everywhere really.
There we go. Thanks ever so much for joining us, Charlie. And you know, if we're heading down to Bristol on Saturday, I'm sure some people will say hello. So until then, up the Imps.